My name's Beverly Tipton, and I've been involved with the turkey hunt. It was the governor's one-shot turkey hunt established in 1987 because my husband, Franklin Delano Gaines, was a hunter on that first hunt, and his friend Howard Worley was his guide. Mike doesn't think he got a turkey that time.
No, he didn't, but it did end up that a few years later, he was the top gun. And Beverly still has that turkey proudly displayed in their ranch home after all these years.
Yes, it was great. In 1990, this was something that was at the auction, and it's just something that we've always had up at the Burkett Ranch, north of Greenwood County in the Flint Hills. And this was from 1990. And as Mike said, in 1991, Frank won the governor's one-shot turkey hunt, the biggest turkey, and it's in our great room. And I love it. It always reminds me of the great days that we've had since 1987 with the turkey hunt. We've been landowners that have donated the land for people to hunt on. You know, I'm not sure if it was I believe it was in 87 when we began with our land. That's where they hunted.
I think you have been a landowner every single year.
From the year. And so we're really proud of that and really proud to support the hunt. In 1917, and I'm going to let Mike display this and talk about it. This would have been the 30-year celebration.
Beverly bought this at the one-shot turkey hunt, and the emblem of the Kansas one-shot turkey hunt displayed on the gun, and this is the 30th anniversary gun. This is the 38th year, so it was 8 years ago, and it's a very special gun, and we're very appreciative of Beverly's support and all these years, and we're just very appreciative of those who would support the hunt financially through the auction.
Mike and I talked about it. We thought it would be, I thought it would be very appropriate, and he agreed that this would be in the auction for the 40th anniversary, which would be 2027.
Yeah, 2 years from now.
This was an artist named Brenda Yarnall, and I think Mike knows more about her than I do.
This is unusual because most turkey prints or paintings are done in the spring. And there are only a few artists who can really do good work on turkeys in the fall. And this is a fall picture. And so it's a special picture in that regard because the turkeys are in the forest where the falling leaves are. They're in their fall plumage, not in their spring plumage. And so it's very unique to see a painting of wild turkeys in the fall. And there are only a few artists that have done that, and that's what makes this so special. Wayne Willis was perhaps the most famous Kansan when it came to wildlife art. This is original oil. It's a covey of quail on a snowy cornfield. But if you look there probably was no one, maybe still isn't, who could paint quail like Wayne Willis. They look like they're flying off the canvas. I'll tell you a story about I was in Wayne's studio one time, and he had a painting on the easel. It was a quail painting, somewhat similar. Young kid came in, and he looked at the painting on the easel, and he said, "My, Mr. Willis, how long did it take you to do that?" And Wayne said, 78 years. And it took a lifetime. He was one of the best ever. And we were fortunate to be able to auction this off as we did another one, and Beverly was gracious enough to buy both those originals. So it benefited the turkey hunt financially, and of course it added to her wonderful collection of art. There was a famous Kansan, his name was Bill Tarrant, and he was the gun dog editor for Field and Stream magazine. And in his later years, he was a very close friend of Wayne Willis. And in the later years, he moved to Arizona and he collected these original oil paintings. And after he passed away, his estate was sold to an art dealer in California who was gracious enough to work with us at the governor's turkey hunt to allow us to acquire these two originals This is called startled up red legs. And if you look in the very corner, there are two hunters approaching this wetland, reputed to be Bill Tarrant and Wayne Willis, based on the clothing. And so people sometimes did commission Wayne to paint their outdoor scenes and then place them on the canvas. And that's what one of these are, and it's called startled up red legs, because mallards in the wintertime, they get red and orange feet. We're glad that Beverly has them for safekeeping.
They're actually held at the First National Bank in Fredonia, Kansas. So we felt that would be a pretty safe place. And so the people that come into our boardroom especially enjoy these original paintings. I was never a hunter. So what I enjoyed were of course, the banquets and seeing everyone, and it was a good opportunity to see old friends on an annual basis. Frank and I used to live in Augusta in Butler County, and then we moved over to Greenwood County. But he knew a lot of people here, and it was always very enjoyable to meet up with them. I grew up in Pratt County on a wheat farm, and my days of hunting were with my dad and my brothers. We hunted pheasant, we hunted quail, and what I did, I was the blocker. My brothers and dad, did the shooting, and that's just such wonderful memories growing up on the farm and being able to do that. Well, now, there aren't as many pheasants there, aren't as many quail, and so I'm very interested in the preservation of the heritage of hunting and, being able to preserve our wildlife so that we can all enjoy the outdoor experience that's just amazing. We're good friends with David Cornish, and he's the guide. Frank originally, David worked in the oil field and Frank was an oil man. He's been just an expert guide for the hunters. But I'm really proud to say that we've had some big turkeys out at the Burkett Ranch area.
There's been a lot of great turkeys. It's beautiful habitat. Beverly takes very good care of it. There's a lot of wildlife, and Beverly makes sure that it's maintained that way.
We saw a bobcat this weekend, and the last time I saw a bobcat was when Mike was at our home.
And we saw a bobcat and a coyote together. That's the only time I've ever seen that in my life. And they were not fighting. In fact, it looked like they were actually hunting together along the edge of a pond. But it was truly remarkable to see a bobcat and a coyote together, and there was no antagonism whatsoever. And we observed them for quite a while, so it was pretty remarkable. So there's beautiful wildlife out at Beverly's ranch.
And I would like to say Brian Lewis, he has hunted on our property with David Cornish for a lot of years, and he's been a very great person to get to know, and I sincerely appreciate all of his philanthropy toward the Kansas turkey hunt. We plan to always support it with our land, and I feel extremely blessed, and I'd like Mike to comment as well.
Well, as long as we have the support of the community, which has been fabulous, as long as we have the support of the landowners, as long as we support the support of the guides, the future of the hunt is very bright. We've got a very active board of directors. We're having a very successful hunt this year. Just fabulous young people and our hunting heroes, our disabled veterans, and they've just been great. It's been a wonderful experience, and so we're just going to keep building.